Assuming you're searching for AMP cost expectations gauge for 2024, 2024, 2025, 2030 and need to know where the cost of AMP will go from now on. We will investigate the previous costs of AMP and we'll figure out what specialists are talking about its future cost activities. Kindly remember that you really want to take this expectation and each and every forecast with the goal that this is just the idea of some market master experts. Also, anticipating something so wonderful is totally inconceivable. Yet, we will make an honest effort. How about we start? As per the most recent information accumulated, the ongoing cost of AMP is $73 and AMP is right now positioned #189 in the whole crypto biological system. The flow supply of AMP is 42,227,702,186 with a market cap of $306 to $817 and over 10. In the beyond 24 hours, the crypto has been diminished by 15.66% in its ongoing worth. Assuming we analyze the ongoing business sector cap of the AMP with yesterday's, you can see that the market cap is additionally down. AMP is confronting a difficult time jumping aboard with other crypto coins. The AMP is down to nearly 8.22% over the most recent 7 days. The coin is as yet showing gambling with outlining fragments for recent days. The coin could areas of strength for have at the same time. We don't imagine that it would a productive resource in present moment. Analyze the market capitalization of AMP and other top digital forms of money with our instinctive instrument. Perceive how the all-out worth of every digital currency's circling supply piles facing others, and gain experiences into the market elements. Select 2 digital currencies to analyze their market cap and picture the outcomes. We foresee future AMP cost expectations AMP estimate by applying profound man-made consciousness helped specialized investigation on the past value information of AMP. We give our altogether greatest verifiable information for the AMP coin, which incorporate various boundaries like past value, AMP market cap, AMP volume, and not many more. Assuming you are hoping to put resources into advanced digital forms of money and need great profit from your speculations, try to peruse our expectations. AMP value forecast outline. AMP cost estimate recommends a chance of AMP exchanging between $0.0122 to $0.0146 in 2025. In a bullish situation, AMP could outperform the $8.26 mark for 2.50, displaying possible vertical energy. There is potential for AMP cost to encounter a critical flood, coming to as high as $0.0935 toward the finish of 2030. AMP is expected to arrive at a greatest cost of $5.92 constantly 2040. With the ongoing cost of $0.73, AMP holds its ground on the lookout. AMP value expectation 2024. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at the very least worth of $0.85 in 2024. The AMP cost could arrive at a most extreme worth of $0.05 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.88 all through 2024. AMP value expectation 2025. According to the figure cost and specialized examination, in 2025 the cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at least degree of $0.0122. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest degree of $0.0146 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.0127. AMP value conjecture for 2026. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at the very least worth of $monos in 2026. The AMP cost could arrive at a greatest worth of $229 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.186 all through 2026. AMP value expectation 2027. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at least degree of $266 in 2027. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest degree of $9 with the typical cost of $273 all through 2027. AMP value forecast 2028. The cost of 1 AMP is supposed to reach at least degree of $368 in 2028. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest degree of $146 with the typical cost of $032 all through 2028. AMP value expectation 2029. As per our profound specialized examination on past value information of AMP, in 2029 the cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at the very least degree of $541. The AMP cost can arrive at a most extreme degree of $0.64 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.56. AMP value expectation 2030. As per our profound specialized examination on past value information of AMP, in 2030 the cost of AMP is gauged to be at around a base worth of $0.0762. The AMP value worth can arrive at a limit of $0.0935 with the typical exchanging worth of $0.79 in years. AMP Value Gauge 2031. According to the Gauge and Specialized Examination, in 2031 the cost of AMP is supposed to reach at any rate value worth of 0.1028. The AMP cost can arrive at a most extreme value worth of 0.1340 with the typical worth of 0.10159. AMP Value Forecast 2032. AMP cost is gauged to arrive at a most reduced conceivable degree of 0.11705 in 2032. According to our discoveries, the AMP cost could arrive at a most extreme conceivable degree of $945 with the typical figure cost of $0.11751. AMP Value Forecast 2033. AMP cost is estimate to arrive at a most reduced conceivable degree of $1.456 in 2033. According to our discoveries, the AMP cost could arrive at a most extreme conceivable degree of $1.9076 with the typical conjecture cost of $1.2544. AMP Value Conjecture 2040. Analyzing authentic execution gives setting. Yet it is critical to perceive that previous presentation isn't demonstrative of future outcomes. According to the Figure and Specialized Examination, in 2040 the cost of AMP is supposed to reach at the very least value worth of $4.87. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest value worth of $5.92 with the typical worth of $5.23. AMP Value Estimate for 2050. Understanding business sector patterns and opinions is urgent, however feeling can be flighty. Looking at current market elements can offer bits of knowledge into potential cost developments, yet taking into account the more extensive ecosystem is fundamental. In 2050, the most extreme cost of AMP is supposed to reach $8.26, with a typical exchanging worth of $7.51. The base cost is projected to be around $7.14. AMP Value Figure Facts. What is the AMP cost today? Today AMP is exchanging at $973 with the market cap of $306 at $810,000. Is AMP a wise venture? AMP's worth is supposed to keep on extending, as deficiency will in general support cost rise. If it's not too much trouble, note, there is a gamble to any venture. Simply put resources into what you can achieve prior to reaching any resolutions and lead the most extreme exploration conceivable. How high could AMP at any point go? The typical cost of AMP could go to $8 before the current year's over. Assuming we gauge the 5-year plan, it is assessed that the coin will handily come to the $0.382 mark. What amount will AMP be worth in 2030? As far as value, AMP has an extraordinary potential to arrive at new levels. It is figured that AMP will increment in esteem. As indicated by unambiguous specialists and business examiners, AMP can raise a ruckus around town cost of $0935 till 2030. What amount will AMP be worth in 5 years?